All right, welcome to scene 23 from Black Tower Tales following Wiggins and Nick's Shadow Cloak. I'm Body. I'll be your player dungeon master for today. When last we were with these two, unfortunately, they both got knocked out from arrows. Right, they were within sight of the town that they were trying to go and rest at after escaping the Chaos Castle. And unfortunately, Nyx ended up dying, and Wiggins was saved by a we know happens to have been a either a spurned lover or someone who had interest in Wiggins in the past, but was angry that he had just married Nyx. So this is Nick's character sheet. I don't know if you can see that, but I sort of held off on doing this until now for no particular reason. But yeah, she's she's just dead. Hypothetically, there could be some resurrection at some point, and maybe we'll try to figure that out. But I've got her little miniature thing right there. And yeah, so last we saw, Wiggins was unconscious. We had seen that as this is like 3 weeks ago at this point of recording, so my memory isn't 100%, but as I remember it, we saw that Wiggins' dad actually had caught up to them as they were approaching the town, but he only caught up to them as he saw the arrow or streaking from the or no, he saw them in the road being unconscious, and I think it was as they were getting saved by this person who was jealous of Nyx and Wiggins. So Wiggins, I think, is just waking up. The next scene that I think is Wiggins going to be waking up and finding out what happened. I don't think that there's anything. Well, I mean, I guess we need to roll for an interrupt scene for that potential, or an altered scene. But at this point, yeah, I think the scene I have is Wiggins waking up. We'll find out if his dad is there. We'll find out what happened with this lady, I guess. I sort of have an idea in my head of how I think it would be cool to go, and I'll probably ask questions to the Oracle in order to see if that's the way it pans out. But right now we have Chaos 8, and I'm going to test the expected scene of Wiggins waking up in one of the inns in the town that they were approaching, all bandaged up. Probably, I would say, let's just do a D4. He's waking up 3 days later because he got they were out for a few days, and then they got really messed up. So, or they were traveling in this Chaos Castle. So it's 3 days later. Or at least that's the expected scene. And here we go. 30. So that's going to be... Whoa, wait. Testing the chaos factor is a 1d10. Hold on. 6. So that's less than chaos. So that's an interrupt scene. So I'm curious what that's going to be. This might be some sort of dream sequence, maybe? Something that Wiggins sees as he's unconscious. Maybe it's something that happens separate. We need to find out that here. So we've got a random event focus. At this point, Wiggins is the only player character that we have. 73. We have PC negative. Oh, buddy. For this, the focus of this interrupt scene, and then we're going to roll on the action and subject tables. I'm kind of liking the old Mythic Game Master Emulator action subject tables rather than the action descriptor or all these locations tables. But I'm gonna see if I need to make a new set here in order to work with them instead. But let's try action and subject 3, which is going to be neglect. PC negative, neglect. So something bad is happening to Wiggins that is neglect lies. Neglect lies. What lies do I think Wiggins has behind him? I think that means that Wiggins doesn't, or Nix never knew about this other lady. Yeah, so that's one. Okay, so I think, so what this says to me is that Nix never knew about this other lady who ultimately ambushed them both and killed her. And Neglect says to me that Wiggins, when he, I guess, chose Nix over her, maybe he was having some sort of. I think that's interesting. He was having some sort of affair with this other lady, say before they got married, because really there hasn't been any opportunity since they got married for him to be fooling around. But before they, sometime in the past, Wiggins and this other lady messed around, and essentially once Wiggins decided he wanted to only be with Nix, he just ghosted this other lady. Like maybe he left on a this lady was in some other area and he left to go be with Nix back in his hometown. I think that's I think that makes sense. But how does this materialize as a PC a PC negative event? I think at this point this isn't something that has materialized in his hometown, because this lady didn't know where he was from. She was sort of searching around, but she has basically been searching through the section of the land that she believed he lived in, and she's been spreading rumors about him. She's been, shit talking. She does, maybe he gave a false name. I like that question. What's the question here? 91. No, the question did she have his name? Did he give her a false name? 91, that's a no. So yeah, she's been giving. That's actually a hell no. So she told him a lot. I think maybe she just was traveling really slowly. But basically, she's been shit talking Wiggins' Shadow Cloak from one coast to the next as she's walking around trying to find him. And so now he's in this town where everyone thinks he's a fucking piece of shit. And oh my, oh YouTube. And basically, yeah. So like let's just say that he's getting the bare minimum medical support from the people, and that's why he's been unconscious for 3 days. He's barely. She stabilized him, and they were able to get him there, but get him into the inn and healed up. But basically, he's everyone in town knows what he's done, and even now his father, who arrived just in time, has found out, and so he's sort of maybe dealing with that. So I think the interrupt scene that we have is this unknown lady who we need to figure out her name real quick. I'm going to use the Shadow Dark character name table for just a moment. We're going to go with Halfling. 11. Alma. I think that's her name. Her name is Alma. Let's write that on the cast. Alma. So Alma and Wiggins' father, who also we don't know his name. His name is Jasper. Okay. Okay, so we don't know a whole lot about Jasper, so I think we're going to roll on that NPC table to find out a little bit about him. He is a 67 plebeian. Plebeian villain. Okay. And then Alma is a fanatic. Okay, that makes sense with what we've seen from her. A fanatic actor. So I think in this, that's sort of, with Jasper being a plebeian villain, I think he's sort of not been successful in being like a thief or something. But that's maybe why he was able to get Wiggins's, magic dagger from the bounty hunters. And I think there's a chance. Was Jasper able to actually like kill the bounty hunters, because they didn't have a leader yet. They weren't they were sort of scattered with the their mark skipping town, and then their leader gets murdered. I think there's a chance that part of the reason Jasper is coming after and the way he was able to get the stuff back is that he basically killed all the bounty hunters, especially since he's a villain apparently. I think that's still unlikely because there were like 8 of them, right? We're at Chaos 8, so I think it's very unlikely that he actually did this. That he was able to kill all of the bounty hunters, but we do have it's still an 65% chance, even though it's very unlikely. 55, and that's a chaos event as well, or a random event. So yes, basically, Jasper killed the bounty hunters when he was retrieving Wiggins' stuff, basically. And so I think from that we can tell that he's obviously dedicated to his son. The next question I have is Alma going to be upfront about the fact that she's the one that knocked them out? Because I think Jasper doesn't know that she shot the arrow. But maybe she's lying. I think she would probably have lied about being responsible for the deaths, and she could just claim to be someone who was just on the road while they were approaching, and maybe it was someone else that was trying to ambush them. So I think, does Alma lie about what happened, about being responsible for the death of Nyx? I think that is a likely. With Chaos 8, that's 95% chance. So 76. So yes. So Alma's lying in this. So this is the interrupt scene. I wasn't expecting this to resolve this soon, but Alma basically, since it's been 3 days, I think 3 days, would Nyx have been buried within 3 days? I think that's, I don't know, 50-50. 22, that's another random event. How do you so yeah, basically I think there's some sort of cultural thing with gnomes, because everyone in this game so far basically has been gnomes, except for maybe some of the cultists in the castle and things like that. So I'm gonna say gnomes have this thing where they need to bury people as soon as they can once they realize they're dead, for some reason or another. We don't have that detail right now, but basically Nyx is dead, and she's in the ground, and Alma has been, we're going to say that right now Jasper and Alma are talking about what happened and how Alma just has blood on her hands. She's sort of making the motions to save Wiggins, and he's just been stabilized. Wiggins' father comes up and is like, "What is this? What's happening?" She's like, I did the best I could, but she passed away, and oh my God, it was all I could do to make sure Wiggins here stayed alive. And I think with that, yeah, Jasper's basically gonna pick Wiggins up after he's stabilized, and is going to carry him towards the town. And as they're walking, Jasper sort of asks, like, "How did this happen? Did you see anything? Who did this?" And I think Alma is going to have that, is going to give her, she's an actor, right? So she's going to have some sort of positive on her charisma. I'll say it's a 2. Let's make note of that. And she's going to basically be like, I didn't see anything. All I saw, or I saw the arrows come from the woods and hit them both. And there was, I think she even crafts some sort of lie where there's some group that's local to this area that she tries to pin it on. Maybe some bandits. I like that idea. Or maybe she fabricates it. Like, so I think she definitely tries to pin it on someone else. And the question is that we'll have it eventually, is that a real group? But for now, we're just worried about the lie that she's telling. That there was this, she saw the arrows come from the woods, and then as she was running up to see what happened, the people who had done the assassination just turned around and ran away because they expected this to be just an easy ambush that they could loot and then run away. So I think this is her +2 charisma for the lie. Oh, that's a 19. Okay, that's pretty good. And I think honestly, Jasper is going to have a disadvantage on his insight, essentially roll, his wisdom roll, in order to figure out that she's lying, because he's all stressed. He's carrying his son over his shoulder who's bleeding out. The body of his son's wife is just sitting on the road back there, which might not have been maybe, oh man, would he be trying to carry both of them? I'll resolve that here. But this is his insight. He's got +1 wisdom because all gnomes have that. And he's at disadvantage is what I was getting at. Ooh, he rolled a 19, but that's still only an 18. And basically he can't possibly roll. Man, that's some banger rolls coming out there. I think he would actually be carrying both of them. I think it's very likely, and that's like 85% chance, yeah. So basically, yeah, the interrupt scene that we see is Jasper carrying the corpses, Nyx's corpse, and maybe he doesn't even know that it's a corpse yet. He doesn't really want to believe, I think. That's why he's carrying it. And Wiggins' corpse all the way back to town. And I think when they're within 100 yards or something, someone sees this group, and maybe he instructs Alma after they have this little back and forth as far as telling him what happened and things like that. He tells her to run ahead because he's got 2 bodies on his shoulders. I think Jasper actually he's gonna have let's say he has +2 strength. And she runs ahead, and then eventually, once they're within 50 yards, 100 yards of the town, there's some people that come out to help and get the 2 of them into town, into safety, and into medical attention. But we do have 2 random events that are happening. So the first random event, the focus is 63. Move away from a thread. What thread would that be? We really only have 1 thread, and that's chaos magic. But what's the random event going to be? 71. The action subject is 71 trick, and that's the magic, chaos magic. Trick plans. So I think the random event that happens here is that as Wiggins is being carried into town by his father, that chaos statue falls out of his pocket and just it just falls out of his pocket. We don't know what happens to it. Supposedly it could just be laying in the road, stuck in the mud, and gets buried. Maybe someone picks it up. Maybe something happens. But basically, this chaos magic statue that Wiggins has is lost now in this town. The second random event And I think this is probably going to be the last thing to happen in this scene. 15, the subject, is a new NPC. Okay. Oh, wait, we really already have... well, no, we'll see. We'll see who this new NPC is. New NPC... and then that is going to be... New NPC is oppose. One, alright. Oppose goals. So I think that means there's some... I mean, Wiggins is a wizard. I think everyone in town knows he's a wizard because Alma has been spreading... They're not lies, they're not rumors. She's just been spreading this drama, I guess, about him in advance of him arriving. So everyone knows he's a wizard, and I think what happened... The question I have is, I think there is something in this town where they don't like magic, or they don't like wizards, and so I think probably the mayor or something is in opposition to Wiggins in general. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, so I think the mayor of the town just doesn't like magic, and maybe he's... I think it's not so much that the town itself doesn't like magic. The mayor just has a thing against wizards, and he is going to try to flex his he's going to try to arrest Wiggins for something or something like that. He's going to maybe try to bring him in for adultery or something in order to figure out what happens. So, but basically, there's a new NPC, the mayor of this town, who is in opposition, who doesn't like Wiggins, or he just doesn't like Wiggins, presumably because of the rumors that were spread by Alma. And we get to add him to our cast. Let's figure out his name here in a moment. We're going to figure out his last name first here. He is... Mayor Torben. I think, yeah, Mayor Torben. We don't know what race he is. We don't know what... it could be a woman. Maybe it's a woman. Let's ask that question. Is this a woman mayor? Maybe that's why... Maybe, I think, 11. That's another random event. So she's a woman. She's a woman. I think Torben is her last name. I think that Torben sounds more like a masculine name to me. So it's Mayor Torben, and she really took offense to the rumors that took offense to Wiggins because of the rumors that Alma was spreading. Doesn't like Wiggins, Alma's rumors. All right. So we do have that random event. We'll just try to resolve that really quick. It is funny how, like, at higher chaos levels, these random events just... And it's basically anytime you have... you're asking the Oracle and you roll doubles. But, let's see. What's the focus of this random event? It's a 4, which is going to be a remote event. And all of this is happening while Wiggins is unconscious. So that's kind of cool. He'll wake up to a world that's a little bit different, you know? It's a remote event. At 78, cruelty. $28. Cruelty pleasures. I mean, okay. So the first thing that comes to me, in my mind, we just learned this scene, this session, that Jasper, Wiggins' father, is some sort of villain. He's not a good guy, and that he killed the bounty hunters that were chasing him. And I think what we see here in this random event remote thing is we see what happened in the past. Maybe I think Jasper's sort of reminiscing on the things he did in order to kill the bounty hunters. I think I think what we learn here is basically that Jasper essentially tortured the bounty hunters and uh, did some really bad things in order to get the information. Maybe I think that makes sense. Maybe I think Jasper tortured the bounty hunters in order to get Wiggins' stuff back, and in doing so, he found out that they had some sort of tracking stone or scrying stone that was attuned to him, so they could find him, or find him. Actually, no, I think that they could find Nyx, and that's how he caught up so quickly. Because it's only been like they had only been married for like 4 days or something, right? So Jasper tortured the bounty hunters and got tracking item. It's like a magic item that they were using as bounty hunters. So I think really realistically what this means is that it's going to be an open thread that Jasper bounty hunter torture. I don't know exactly how that might materialize in the future. Maybe the bounty hunters have some way of speaking with dead where they figure out, hey, this guy was really doing messed up stuff to these people before they died. Something along those lines. We'll see how it plays out. But at this point, this got us to having Wiggins in bed, waking up 3 days later. Nyx is already in the ground. And I think that's going to end the scene right now. For this session. So yeah, Nyx is dead. We found out some more stuff about the world. We found out how it was that Jasper caught up to them. We found out a little bit about Alma and how she reacted to having Wiggins' father arrive on the scene right at the worst time, essentially. We found out what happened to the bounty hunters. We found out something about the town that they are approaching. So yeah, that's cool. I always get amazed by how easy, maybe not easy, how versatile the Mythic GM emulator is on some of this stuff. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a good one.